Well. I guess because Mark says so, I have to go. Good evening, sir. I hope all is well up in the northeast of me. Or wait, no, that's west. What am I thinking? I've been traveling most of the day. So actually, since yesterday. And, it's, it wasn't bad, but it was quick. One of my normal trips that I uh, take my daughter to the babysitter, immediately leave. In this case, normally I check into the hotel, chill, wake up the next morning, go to the site. In this case, I had to be there late for, essentially a meeting, I'll call it, and I had to basically get there, check into the hotel, put my stuff up, and then hightail it to the site. And then I was there until, I don't know, like maybe a little after midnight or something. And then I went back to the hotel to get some sleep. I did some work this morning from the hotel, which was a nice change, a little different, but a nice change. And then I hightailed it back here once I could breathe and had a moment to travel without constant calls and whatnot. Uh, yeah, so it was a fun 24 hours or whatever it's been since I started that adventure. I really, I mean, the situation that I have now is alright, but I really need to figure out a way, like a slightly different babysitter situation, so I don't want to travel for multiple days at a time, but so I can travel a little more freely, I guess. Uh, I'm gonna have to work on that. I'm gonna see what I can come up with there. Single parent life. Is Bill on here yet? No, he's not on here yet. It fucking sucks. So, with that being said, uh, yeah, it was an interesting day. Lessons of the week: accountability, professionalism. Like, I feel a lot of these traits are dying in short order. Nobody wants to be accountable anymore, and I'm not even talking about for mistakes. I'm talking about for like their expected responsibilities and things. It's it's kind of ridiculous. So I've noticed that, and that does not make me or optimistic about the future. It, I don't understand some of these people. If you have a job, do it. Do it to like a I've met some pretty good like half-ass people, that just kind of do what they do and get by, and but when something comes up, they'll take care of it. Like, I don't even see a lot of that anymore. I see a lot of pushing the buck, claiming ignorance, like all these things, and it's very old indeed, and I can't relate to it. I feel bad if I feel like I don't know my job, or I miss something, or like I guess it's like responsibility in a nutshell, but I feel bad when I feel like inadequate. Most people don't know. Yeah, fix it. I completely agree. People aren't even trying anymore. Like, the people that are qualified for these jobs aren't even, I don't even know how they get qualified. It seems like unfathomable. I mean, but I will say, it's like the culture, some of the culture that we're in. Nowadays, it's almost commonplace to let somebody take a test until they pass it. Because if we actually tested people, and if failure meant something, serious, like oh, I don't know, you're not qualified for this job or whatever. Um, a lot of people, and maybe even in some cases myself, I'm not the best test taker. Um, might be without a job. Speaking of without jobs, I haven't been watching the news. I haven't been keeping up on stuff. I don't know what happened while I was asleep, but I know, like, I heard the vaccine mandate thing come out, and I, you know how everything comes out of Washington, you don't think much of it. Apparently, they're getting serious about this stuff. Um, and that might be, remember, should have been last week, maybe about a month ago or so. I said something about everybody selling stuff, and I thought it was a bad sign. Uh, I think that's still true. I'm drinking Perrier, Perrier, I guess. I don't know. It's carbonated mineral water. I've been drinking a lot of it lately. But anyhow, so everybody's selling stuff, and I noticed that, and now I'm starting to think that part of it is like the inflation, but a lot of people might be selling stuff to try to hedge their bets against not having a job if they don't want to take this thing that's being mandated. So that might be because I've noticed it's a lot of like it right now. It's a lot of the extras. Maybe an extra car. Maybe um, those damn ATV things. Rust Belt's got one like it's like a 2 or a 4 seater. I don't even know what they're called. Um, People are selling those things left and right, wanting like 25 grand for them. Uh, some people are selling RVs. I see other people selling like what looks like anything. Uh, so it's not encouraging, and there is a lot of uncertainty. And then I decided to take a look, like take a quick glance at like some of the stuff that was going on, try to catch up to the times, so to speak. Yeah, like a side by side thing. Yeah, exactly. Um, and I don't know what's going on in Australia, but apparently they're like ramping up their measures, and there's a bunch of concerning stuff going on down there. Like their curfews are back in force, and apparently you can get arrested for not wearing a mask in public, which I'm not even gonna go there, but like they're doing some stuff. You have to have papers to travel between their. I think they have like 5 states or divisions or whatever they call them. You have to have papers to travel in between, and then there's like one, we'll call it like District 1, like Hunger Games, and apparently it's almost impossible to get in or out of there because they're, I don't know, special. Maybe that's the higher higher income tax bracket section of Australia. I don't know, but yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on down there, and I'm trying to take stock of some of that. But yeah, it's a bunch of weird stuff going on, and I hope that we get some sense and some reason before too long. But I don't have my hopes up for it, so we'll see how this thing plays out. Southwest Airlines had to cancel a bunch of flights. No, they do not. Larry, welcome. Mr. Lawrence, how are you doing, sir? Wait, fix it. Hold on. They have camps for the people that get caught? Like internment camps? I have to do more research. I just did a quick glazing over. But yeah, it's getting concerning because if they're doing it, somebody else is going to get the stupid idea to do it. And I hate to say it, but America's always rife with stupid ideas. So, yeah, let's just hope that whatever we have left of a democratic process shines through because, yikes. Uh, kind of happy at the moment that I'm working at home, but good, Larry. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm kind of glad I work at home, but if and when something comes through the pipeline, it doesn't matter if I work at home or not. Um, I'm still subject to all the rules of everybody else, so I would have to, at that point, have some tough decisions. Yeah, I don't know. And then they're talking about somebody applied for FDA approval to start shooting up to kids, like 5 to 11, or some section of the age groups that can't currently get it, uh, which would include my kids. And yeah, I mean, I don't see Mr. Beckett on here. That ain't gonna fucking happen. It ain't gonna fucking happen. It's just not. I'm not even gonna get into the politics or the arguments of it, or who cares or who says what, or nope. It just ain't gonna happen. There's no argument there. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting next like 6 months if it even takes that long. I've heard a lot of things saying that by Christmas, all the federal government employees and a bunch of these others like will have already hashed out all their stuff, their exemptions that people are claiming and all this. And that's another thing. They've apparently made it almost impossible to get an exemption. Um, and you basically have to have somebody sign off on it, and then they're going to get scrutinized for whatever they put on your form or whatever, sign and agree to. So I just think it's a real big setup. I don't think Bill's here yet, Mark. I don't think he's here yet. I haven't seen him. If he is, he's being quiet, which is not like him. So anyway, yeah, that's some of what's going on. Um, it's concerning. It really is. I mean, given the current situation, um, financially, I'm not in as. I'm out. I just got home from work. All right, fix it. Take it easy, man. Rest up. Enjoy your time off, what little we get. And I appreciate you stopping by. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't have as much money as I would want to have saved up at the moment. Obviously, it's been a rough year. So it's interesting. So that's what's going on with me. I'm going to try a little something different here. We only got a couple people in here tonight. Seems like a slow week. That's fine. I don't need an audience to ignore the chat. That's one of my successful attributes of streaming. So we're going to get over here to our tools. And I will try to keep you guys in my mind and check the chat. There's not many people, so there's not much going on. And we'll talk about what we see over here. So without too much BS, let's get over. So the first thing on here I want to bring to light is this guy posted that DeWalt came out with a new battery that instead of using round cells uses these little packs from I mean, they're essentially like the packs you see in like cell phones and some other devices. And I don't know how I feel about it. Now, there's a couple things. This one here, they're claiming is called Power Stack, I guess. And the idea here, to a degree, I'm sure materials and the global market that we were just talking about are playing some havoc. I will also say I've seen lots of supply line issues. That's kind of what I do now is order things, and things are taking forever. Things are out of stock everywhere. Can't get it. If you can get it, it's limited. If it's limited to like two of something you might need 200 of. I mean, it's ridiculous. Basic things like simple things are getting hard to procure. And we have an entire network of suppliers. It's not limitless, but all the major ones are in there, and all the major ones are having problems, like substantial problems. I got something that was coming from. I'm assuming it was coming from China. It's the only way I can justify it taking as long as it has, and we still haven't seen it. And this was probably 8 weeks, 10 weeks ago, somewhere in there, like forever and a day ago, um, and nothing. So I got to get a hold of them tomorrow and see if I can find out what's going on with that. But I mean, it's not even a high use product. I can't imagine that they would have trouble like procuring the items. It's got to be the shipping delays, I would think. Some things are double their normal lead times. It's really bad. But these power stacks, I'm sure that the materials have something to do with it. This was probably put in right around the transistor issue. Maybe they foresaw something coming. I'm not sure, but obviously the materials cost should be lower. Um, I mean, I'd like to think they're just as safe, but aren't the cell phone style, these kind of style batteries, aren't these the ones that are a little more prone to exploding when they heat up too much? Um, at least in some cases they have been in the past. They're definitely less safe than, a cell. So they're going to stuff a bunch of these in there. Now your battery's going to be a little smaller. What I'm going to be concerned about is the thermal dissipation, right? And not only for the hand grenade factor, we'll call it, but if they're layered like that, there's only so much you can do to keep them away from each other. So before you had like multiple cells, they were round, there was some spacing between them, they were kind of individualized in a configuration. This is literally going to be a chunk with extended surface area stacked. Literally says it on the label there that it's a stack of these batteries. You're going to get probably more battery life out of a smaller battery, or the same life out of a smaller battery, something like that. But it'll be real interesting to see how they work and what happens when they overheat. I'm sure they put in some like protective circuits, but I wonder if they're going to, by comparison, somebody will do it. I'm sure they will. Do like a side by side, right? With your normal cells and then this power stack of an equivalent size, and run the tools under whatever load or no load for X amount of time and see which one cuts out first due to overheating. That'll be interesting, and I'm willing to bet that this is going to be the one that's going to cut out first because it's more vulnerable to heat buildup. You're all late. I thought you forgot about me. I thought I was going to have a nice powwow with just like a few friends, and now you're all coming in here. So, if you missed it, what's on the screen here, DeWalt apparently has a new lithium-ion battery style called the Power Stack, and they're using these cells pictured here. And I'm not. I like DeWalt. I use a lot of them. I don't know how I feel about these batteries. It'll be interesting to see what people say as they come out into the market a little more. But for now, we're going to go down the list and see what else we find. Oh, another organized person. We hate them all. Um, you know, I want to talk about this. Well, I want to talk about this. Like nut drivers. Like he's got some up here. Maybe those are metric. I don't know. Smaller for sure. And then he's got some over here. And then, of course, all the Wera stuff you see here. Some, I can't quite call those Allens. I want to say Bondhaus, but I don't know. Why is my phone going off? Okay, hold on 2 seconds. All right. So anyhow, the nut drivers. Like I, I know there's some uses. I really do, but I just even the ones when I have them or I have the adapters for like a multi-bit screwdriver, whatever have you. I just hardly ever do I use them. I just I get there a little more handy. You can just kind of grab it. Maybe if you're doing like furniture making or something, or some installations where it's a lot of surface mount bolts and they're not very long, and it's got to be a very specific situation for me to even think about grabbing something like that. It's not something that I really care about putting in my toolbox. Um, Dano's here. Scott's here. Bill is finally here. I gotta stop cussing. That's unfortunate. I was cussing before you got here, Bill. I felt liberated and free. I'm kidding. I was over here chanting "Let's go, Brandon." Uh, but anyway, yeah, I'm not big on the nut drivers. I mean, I guess in some situations they can be useful, but I just have never really found a good use for them. What the? Oh, I think I know what that is. Oh, oh, Jeebus. I mean, he's so close to the wires, though. Is that for the power cable? Like power lines? He's trimming that's ballsy. Do you want to talk about a job? That dude is. That's some next level stuff right there. I'm not signing up for that. Hey, take this 30-foot chainsaw and go trim the trees by the power lines in a helicopter. Like, okay, that dude makes me look like a woman. Uh, that's nuts, though. Can we get back to the beginning? I want to see. Look at that. It's a whole bunch of what appear to be like, giant circular saw style blades on something that. How do you even take off with that? You just literally yank it up in the air, I guess. That's that's pretty nuts. And you're literally just like flailing it around to chop the trees. That's yeah, that's the kind of chainsaw you need right there. Damn. That's a new one. That's a new one. I've never seen or heard of anything like that. Okay, here we go. Somebody took the time to get a mini Milwaukee. I'm going to call that a pruning chainsaw, but, whatever. Little guy. Heh, I mean, the body's a little big. I mean, hopefully it's got the power to back it up. It's, what, maybe 6, couldn't be more than 8 inches, probably, on the blade. Yeah, I mean, it'd do some stuff, but is it necessary? Probably not. Depends on what you're doing. Very interesting. I guess if you're doing small stuff, you got like some big bushes and stuff. Mm. Is that one of them? It's a butane soldering iron, right? Yeah, the power probe. Yeah, those things are pretty good. You can get some off-brand ones that are decent too. Um, it doesn't necessarily have to be name brand, but you know your quality goes down significantly. And so he's saying this one's good. I like it. I will say when these first came out, it was like a game changer as far as soldering goes, because soldering you've always been tied to something. It was always easier to attempt to take what you were soldering to the bench and then bring it back than to try to say solder wires in a car or a piece of equipment unless they were relatively accessible. So yeah, plus these things heat up a lot faster than, well, I don't know about a lot faster. Somebody could time it, but I feel like they're ready quicker. Bought this drill a month ago. I have no idea how to put anything in the top part to drill anything. My first tool ever. Can you help me out? You know, it's got to be a troll post. It's got to be. Okay, I mean, the hands the hands look a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how he has his thumb like that, like all straight bent. My thumb doesn't do that. I don't know how his does. That's weird. Um, Maybe he's double jointed. I don't know. But why would you go through the trouble of making a Reddit post when you could literally just look it up on YouTube? It's got to be a troll post. Insulated tools. This reminds me that I got to order some. And I will say, um, WIA has been my go-to. There was like a little bit of a shortage there because I'm sure not a lot of people order a whole ton of insulated tools at a time. So I did, and I got to check them out a little bit. I did order the Wera insulated 3/8 socket set. Uh, and I will say the quality on that specific item, looking at a WIA versus um, the Wera, it was, I kind of like the Wera better. They seem like there's a little more fit and finish to them. I'm sure they function about the same, but the ratchet was light years better. The one gigantic and huge, and I mean it's kind of like that because you're gonna have insulated gloves on, or at least you should, when you're doing things. So you're gonna have your two layers of gloves. You're gonna have your rubbers and your outer leathers. So that kind of messes with your dexterity a bit, but I definitely like the Wera better. They just, they know what they're doing a little more. Um, Interesting find at the second-hand store. What do we have on this shelf? Anything interesting? Chisels. One of them screwdrivers that, oh, come on, I can't, oh, well, here, I'll just zoom out. Yeah, some chisels. Is that a cobalt screwdriver? I think it is. Some assorted wrenches. I don't, no offense. I don't see some die handles, some older ones. Okay, like you're kind of getting into something there. Are those taps? Those are some really nice taps. Couple of, well, at least one extractor. It looks like either that or that's an end mill. It might be an end mill. Kind of looks like an end mill now. Can't tell with the string crossing over it. I don't really see much on this shelf though that's amazing. or necessarily really interesting. Huh. One man's trash is another man's trash. Keep it moving. List of solvents and compatible materials. This should help with cleaning your tools. Um, I think you're going in a little too hard with it, and I don't know why you're cleaning your tools that much. Okay, Milwaukee set of drill bits. Most of the actual drill bits looks like they're hex shank. Um, Spade bits definitely look nice. I don't. The step bits. I've talked to a bunch of people on step bits, and with the step bits, I, everybody says that they have a very short life. I've used some over longer periods of time, in some years past, um, and I don't think they were necessarily, insanely expensive or anything special. And I guess it depends on how much you consider, I guess, a lot. Like if you're a sheet panel installer or custom fabricator or something like that, and you're using them a lot to drill holes and things, then maybe. But I never really had that much of a problem with them. But then again, I wasn't putting them under like heavy daily use. I guess I'd use them, once or twice a week, maybe. What in the heck is that? Is that a plane? Oh, that is. It's a plane. That's. I think it's a plane. He's in a museum. That's some kind of clamp, I think. Let's see what that says. Flemish. Oh, it's not even in English. Wait. Yeah, plane. There we go. The second sign. That's. Yeah, see, look how ornate they used to make stuff. That's they just don't care like that anymore. Look at, yeah, that's the one down there. So it's a bunch of different ones. That almost looks like a saw style handle. I know it's not. I mean, it's the style, but I know it's not a saw. But yeah, they used to really make stuff, and even out of wood. Some of the stuff we used to do with wood, you almost can't replicate with metal. Like just the time and the care it took into making something, designing something. Somebody else was an idiot and bought the 24 karat gold icon. Why? Why are you putting lipstick on a pig? Why? I, this just proves people will overpay for anything. Anything. Because, like, icons already, some of the stuff, I don't know, maybe they're getting ready to do a revamp. Somebody told me. I've not been able to confirm that because I haven't tried. But when these came out, Icon was still relatively highly priced. And I think they're overpriced. I think most of us kind of think that for what they are, for the store that they're sold at, and everything else, I'm not saying they're not good quality, but I think most of us agree in general that they're overpriced. And then they played it in 24 karat gold, and people still buy them, and for some reason are proud of them. I don't understand it, but making a social media post about it just shows that you're more worried about what people think about what you have than what you have. I would never, never, I don't even care if I was like a Snap on guy, I would never buy uh, like a collector's decorative piece if it's a tool, right? If it's a tool, I saw these Snap-on wrenches. They were like I don't know, Dale Earnhardt commemorative. Now, okay, Earnhardt, that's cool. I like that. And they were like a commemorative set or something somebody was selling on Facebook Marketplace some time ago. I forget what they wanted for them. Honestly, I don't even think the price was really ridiculous. I, I half tempted thought to buy them for a second just because the price didn't seem that bad, but it's not it's a functional tool that you take the functionality out of. You're never going to use them. You're going to stare at them, and even then, I don't. As far as tools go, I don't get. And I did do a little more research into those heart tools we talked about last week. And if you remember, it said heart tools and then like either plus or X or something, the Fords. And I was like, I don't know what the Fords is about. Well, I did some more research. And the Fords is apparently some HGTV equivalent couple that I don't know does design or something like that. And for whatever reason, Heart Tools decided to give them design rights or whatever over these limited edition tools or whatever it is that they're putting out. So these all black, it seems like most of them that I've seen have been all black. Heart tools are designed by this couple who I'm sure do something. By their pictures, they look like HGTV home renovation, I don't know, people, design, interior design, I don't know. But yeah, they're designing tools, which I give Hart the credit for attempting to better themselves. And these, while they still do look cool and they come in a nice box, they're still completely functional tools. It's not something you're going to hang on the wall necessarily. But I just don't see. Maybe they're trying to tap into like a little more of the DIYer or this or that. Try to maybe improve the image of the tools a little. But I don't know if that's the way to go about it. But that is where that comes from. Now I know a little bit more about what was going on with that, and that seems to be the case. Quality. Oh, yeah. Let your light shine. Yeah, and for something like needle nose pliers, which I'm guessing, I can see teeth down here. I'm guessing that's what those are, obviously. But that is probably the most important part, is the gap. And you do want, I mean, I wouldn't mind some back in towards here, but you really want to be somewhat tight up in the front. Why? Why, Mark? I said that, you... Bill's still on here. Gotta be respectful to Bill. Oh, yeah, the heart hammers from the 80s. And, you know, the stuff that they're making now is good. I'm not going to knock it. Everything that I've seen is of substantial quality for the price that they're asking. I get a lot of hate for this, but not necessarily in the power tool department, but I think a lot of their accessories and the smaller stuff, the bits and those things, I think they're better quality than like Ryobi, even if it is just like a placebo effect. It seems like they are. The packaging looks nicer. It looks like more care was taken. It looks a little cleaner. I look at that next to the green now, and I'm like, eh. You know, I do kind of like the heart stuff better. Slow down when you get too sloppy. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Yeah, it's just mineral water, carbonated mineral water. Was today Wednesday? I haven't had a drink in 10 days? 10 days or something like that. So, yeah. That's something. Ooh, Got a long neck. Got a T-Rex. Stegosaurus over here. Uh, Ingersoll Rand. Is that the cordless? You don't see that very much. Yeah. That's and you don't see some of this stuff very often. That's yeah. And that's interesting because when someone makes those choices, I mean, I don't know. For all I know, this guy gets his stuff bought by management. I doubt it, but that's a possibility. But that IR stuff is not cheap. Um, I've only got to play with a couple pieces of it a few times, but the build quality on that is noticeable. And I don't think they get enough credit because they're a higher priced um, industrial, I guess you'd say industrial brand. They're not like really a household name. But yeah, the build quality on those is great. I would actually say it's above Milwaukee, I think. Um, as far as the longevity or anything like that, or common issues that I don't know, but they are of substantial quality. Thank you, Dano. I appreciate the support. Hart is a step above Harbor Freight and the same price. I mean, yeah, it's pretty close in a lot of cases, and Hart is starting to take over, some of what was the Hyper Tough. There's still some Hyper Tough stuff floating around and on the shelves, and I guess that's them still trying to pick off, the low hanging fruit for someone that's just coming in for some wrenches to do something and don't want to spend a lot of money. But it's very limited now what you have from uh, the Hyper Tough line, and I am 100% sure I haven't seen any Hyper Tough stuff as far as the power tools and things in my store in a long time. We clearanced out of everything and it's gone. The only thing there now is Hart. So I was right in my video when I found them. 5 seconds later, something in the back of my head told me they were getting away from the Hyper Tough. Like almost instantly. And I know that's not a big leap to go on, but when you're just like turn around and there's something, you know, I called it like almost immediately. So I do wish that they had done a little more work, 'cause most of the Hart stuff seems new, but the toolbox, which gets no play, right? Um, is the Hart toolbox. It's the same thing. That video that I did on the Performax 36-inch top chest and bottom chest combo for, I believe at that time it was like 600 and something. Um, it's not a bad box. I like the box. There's nothing wrong with it. But then when Hart came in, I was kind of interested. I didn't even think about a toolbox at first. But then when I saw that they were having one, I was like, okay. And then I looked at it. They don't have a display model out. But I looked at the box and everything else. It's the same thing as that Performax. They just literally slapped the Hart name and logo on it. And I think the drawer pulls are blue, if I remember right. But it's the same exact box. Same dimensions, same setup, same configuration. Nothing changed. So that was kind of upsetting. But, and some people, some lucky people on that video, they'd come in and comment because I did that video, and then I did a follow-up video sometime later because somebody told me they got one for like, it was like ridiculous, like $150 or something. Don't quote me. But some guy commented on my original video saying he just picked one up on clearance. So that's when I started looking around. They were on clearance. So I did another video on that, the Performax, basically stating it was on clearance. And some people, even in that video, did come in and comment that they were able to find one, or the price was listed at their store but they couldn't find one, those kind of things. But some people did get a really nice deal on those boxes, and for those kind of prices, well worth it, because even the best comparisons, like I think Cobalt's one of them, Husky had like a similar. I did all the comparisons in the video. um, it was hard pressed to like get back in that price range, you know, in a reasonable way. Now, if you went up a bit to like say like the $800-900 range, you could get something much nicer. If you were just looking for sheer space or whatever have you, you could get something, a lot nicer, a lot more space. But for that price range, if you're just a home gamer and you're looking for something small, it was when that thing went on clearance, it was a really good deal for the ones that were lucky enough to find it. Kind of miss those days. That's like 2 years ago now. Actually, 2 years ago next month. That's crazy. Doesn't feel like it. But then, since all this panoramic stuff going on, the last thing I remember was it was 2019. The end of 2019, I took this job, and then this happened, and this has literally been, a blur. Throw the divorce in on that too, and like I can't fathom that. This is one of the reasons why I don't think I've been shooting videos. Is because, I mean, if you look right here, I'll pick you guys up a little bit. If you look, this is my office. There's my actual work desk back there. I have a side desk here with some stuff going on. Number one, in the current configuration, when I actually had to set up the other work desk, when I got the work from home job, these don't fit in here the way I wanted, because there's like an outcropping in that corner on the outside wall, because it's literally an outside wall, and this is an old building. This is all a facade, right? So the conduits run on the inside of the wall. The junction boxes for the outlets actually protrude out. So these walls, it doesn't fit it the way it looks like. The windowsill juts out from the wall a little bit. There's just a couple of things like that by inches in some case, I cannot like line these tables up right and actually just kind of slap them in. They don't fit this way together. They don't fit that way together. It's just a mess. So for those reasons, I haven't completely sorted it out as far as what I want to do. Now, I could always get into cutting or doing something, but I've been lazy lately, and I'm trying to find a balance, right? I got everything going on with my daughter and the kids, and all that. It's hard to, not necessarily to find time, but I still feel like I'm in like a state of transition. I don't even know how much longer I'm going to stay here. It's nice. I don't mind it. It's okay. I wish I had a garage. But other than that, like, it suits the needs at the moment, but I don't really think I'll stay here like long term or anything. And that's probably one of the reasons why I haven't put too much crazy effort into making this something awesome, because I'm kind of thinking, I don't know, maybe another 6 months or something, maybe towards the end of the school year, reconfigure things with my daughter. But for now, I'm just kind of existing here. I'm not really doing that much. So the last 2 years have been a blur, like quite literally. 2020 might as well be the year that never happened. as far as I'm concerned. And then hopefully we're on the far end of this thing, but if Australia is any indication, I don't think that's the case. Uh-oh, what's Bill doing? I was at a red light, and the car behind me was blowing his horn, pulled up alongside me, and pointed them out to me. What? Did I miss something before? Okay. Craftsman carries a 3-year warranty? Huh. That I did not know. Yeah, I was still trying to figure out, oh, okay. On the bumper. Oh, okay, I see. Stuff's falling off of Bill's car. There's a DeWalt guy. I often wonder, right? Guys like this. Like, what are you doing in your free time? Like, literally, like, are you? Because even Brad's workbench doesn't have anything like this. This dude built like the bench. He's got all the stuff. This looks like it's maybe a corner of a garage, but it is probably inside. Like, what are you doing? Are you building furniture, cabinets? What are you doing that you need all of those tools? He's got the pod light. Maybe that's a laser level. The blow, like is that an electric planer? Yeah, he's got to be doing some heavy carpentry because he's got all kinds of clamps, nail gun, router, well, trim router, um, electric planer, sawzall, power sanders. He's doing something. There's, but then there's a weed eater right in the middle of all of that. I'm so confused. And a rotary hammer. I have no idea what this guy's doing. No idea. Maybe he doesn't either. But whatever he's doing, it's professional. He's got the DeWalt, but I don't know what brand this is. It might even be Cobalt, but he's got an off-brand stand for it. If he was a real man, I'm kidding, he would have built it into the workbench. That's the smart thing to do with these. Even mine, which is in storage right now, the Cobalt. Oh, I love that thing. Oh, it's so nice. It really is. If you're doing any like big projects, cutting lots of lumber to, do framing or something, it is so nice, especially if you jig something up and you can just slap it on there. Oh, I love it. But I rarely find projects like that. That's kind of the nature of this wall, and my analysis of such is what are you doing? What do you need all this for? Like that should be a thing. That would be a good thing. Show a picture of your workbench like this with, hopefully a good amount of your tools out, and then guess the occupation. Like, what do you do? Are you an electrician? Are you a carpenter? Landscaper? What's going on here? That light, though, I will say I've seen this light in person. Those things are very nice. They're very nice. Expensive and probably in a lot of cases uncalled for, but they're very nice. Yeah, see, that's what I was kind of saying. It almost looks like, and I argued this. This has probably been a year or more ago now. I argued that I never was on IG, Instagram. I was never on there because I don't need to look at half naked chicks. Like, why would I do that? And then in the interest of like the YouTube channel and social media presence and all that, I got IG, which is cool. But I noticed that like some of the tool guys are going to the level of the Instagram thoughts as far as like setting up photos and doing this. Like, don't get me wrong, a couple of mine I get lucky. You know, I've done some like pretty good. Ulsa's reposted some of my stuff. I like them a lot, and in like one case, I think I got lucky on color coordination. It was for the precision screwdriver set, and they're all red and black. And I was changing batteries on a red and black controller. I was already doing it, right? And then thought like, oh man, the color scheme looks good. And I was like, oh well, like I'll snap a picture for Instagram, and I did, you know, like I did that, and they reposted that at some point. Capri, your boy, right? I ain't even been doing anything, and I posted that picture on Instagram where I was changing out the battery, and there's a story behind that, but I didn't take the picture for Instagram. I had the Capri tool set because, as far as quarter-inch comprehensive tool sets go, it's the best one I have after the quarter-inch socket set video, and so I keep that one on hand or in the vehicle. And so it was just, you know, what I had on hand, and I had it sprawled out of the engine when I took the picture. I got a notification. It was a few days ago or whatever, maybe last week sometime. But I got a notification that Capri, I think I tagged them, well, because their tools are right there, you know. I didn't expect nothing of it. But they reposted the photo on their feed, which, you know, that kind of stuff's always nice. I don't put like a lot of stock into it, but it's nice when you can get a tool company to do that. I don't, you know, it's just an Instagram photo. It doesn't mean much, but it's a nice gesture. And especially me, because I'm not really doing much. I haven't been. So to see that I still have some pull a little bit, or I get lucky from time to time, is nice. And there's Mark plugging Tool Sales and Deals Facebook page um, for the umpteenth million time. It's the same 5 people we're plugging it to, Mark. They either they're either on there already, or they're not going to join Facebook. Which I will say this. I will say this. This is completely off topic. Okay. Um, for the 5 of you on here, I started talking to a woman. Um, talking. I mean, there's no definition. We're not really. There's no like titles or anything. We're just talking. And I noticed something. I don't know what it is with. It's like they know that you're you know, because they do. Like in this case, we message back and forth on Facebook, but it's like the universe is aligned or something. I don't know what, but then like you start getting all these messages and friend requests from people you don't talk to, people you don't know, maybe somebody that you do know, like messages, hey, how are you doing? You know, and I'm not talking about the robots or the weird ones with like chicks in bikinis that are trying to get you to donate to their OnlyFans or all that. I'm talking about like real people that you know may know or you know exist in real life. Like, and it kind of bothers me, and it bothered me to the point to where I took my Facebook and I just went through and purged it. If I literally don't talk to you or don't care about, you know, the stuff that you have going on, I took everybody off, like all kinds of people. You know what else is funny about that? Took all these people off. I don't know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something. The number of messages and stuff and friend requests and all that increased after I did that because I didn't want the distraction. I'm not on there much anyway. I haven't been making videos. I'm not posting to the Just Wrench It Facebook page. There's not much going on. So maybe every now and again it's just like I'm bored and I scroll through my feed to see what's going on with people. Sometimes there's news, stuff like that. But the amount of messages and friend requests and all that stuff like tripled when I started kind of pushing away from it. So like some of you guys, man, that actually don't have Facebook are I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you're better off. I really don't like it. I don't. It is a means to maybe keep up with some people, but the way that most people do it anymore, I think is ridiculous. And I've been guilty of it in the past too. I had like 400 or some odd friends on there. People I hadn't talked to in years. People, no offense if they're on here or watching. People I couldn't give a shit about. Why do I care what's going on with them or their cousin or whatever they're posting about? Like, no. So I cut it down. I think I'm down to like 75 people. Most of it, call it friends and acquaintances. Yeah, it is what it is. But it was interesting that the amount of messages and all the BS and weird stuff increased as I pulled back. I thought that was very odd. Um, yeah, very odd. I was listening to something today, and they said 80%, or not 80, I'm sorry, 40% of all divorces in like the last 15 years, uh, some form of social media was listed in the complaint or was the primary cause, i.e., he messaged some chick on Facebook and cheated, or she was starting her OnlyFans, and I was like, I'm not going to be married to, whatever the case was. But social media and these things are, I'm not going to say they're taking the place of. I don't know like what the total numbers done over that period of time, but it's now, one of the reasons that people are separating. And that's, some people aren't meant to be together, I guess, but that's not, if you end a marriage over like social media problems or chicks DMing your husband and him actually responding, or whatever the case is, like, y'all got a lot more evaluation to do. Like, Facebook isn't the problem, but it's a method to, like I was saying, like these messages. I could have responded, I could have engaged, added these people as friends, even though it's just some chick. Like, but why? It's really weird what social media has done. There's a lot of good things about it, like the tool community, YouTube. All of you fine people that I consider friends, and I don't say that lightly. I've hung out with you guys more over like the last 3 years than a lot of people. But yeah, it's a real weird thing, and the way that a lot of people use it nowadays is just not good. But I digress, and I apologize because I went on some of my rants. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Hey, Milwaukee, for 20K, you can use this picture. This guy knows what he's doing. Um, that's awesome. And I wish that they would give him the 20K. Can I upvote that? I'm going to upvote that. Who is who? Wait. Oh. Yeah, one person messages me, two people message me. Anyhow, I gotta hop off here. I got a 10 o'clock meeting I have to prepare for and mentally center myself not to like strangle people. So I gotta go do that. And apparently my phone wants to go onto like crazy mode right now. Okay. But for now, I'm gonna try. I have this weekend off, And um, it sounds like I might have some alone time. The woman I'm talking to, I think she's pretty tied up for the weekend. So if I find some time by myself, I might even get like kind of proactive and try to batch record a couple of videos. Not completely trash content, but we'll see what I can come up with. But I got to start making some videos again, even if it's only few and far between. Uh, I feel bad that this is all I got, running through whatever, ignoring the chat. I'm not even drinking beer for your amusement anymore. So, yeah, I don't want the stream to get too dry. Anyhow, guys, I will see you at minimum next week. I don't believe I have any travel or anything planned, so we should be good. Yeah, I'll see you guys next week.